Hello again, I'm Joanne Ramsden and I'd like to share some more tips for distance learning with our younger learners. This is the final instalment of 5 top tips, and today we'll be looking at assessing language remotely. First, let's talk about observation. Observation always plays an important role in assessment, and that's no different online. Even though we're not in class with our pupils, we need to see that they're continuing to progress. Observing the children in a remote lesson is much more challenging than observing them in the classroom. We have less time and less control over the environment. Even so, there are a number of things we can observe in our daily sessions. Children's body language and facial expression gives us many clues to their current level of motivation. Watch to see if they're participating in TPR activities and action songs. Do they understand and follow instructions? Do they put their hand up to participate? It's a good idea to make a checklist with the items you wish to focus on in each session. Don't try and assess everyone in the same session. Focus on small groups at a time. We can use flashcard games to check understanding of vocabulary. Rather than asking the children one by one to name items, we can play a true or false game, asking the children to put their thumb up if we say the correct name of each item. This is a sweater. These are shoes. Assessing the children's production of language can also be more challenging when we're teaching remotely, particularly if you have a large class. Confident children will put their hands up and participate, but you may find that some children are reluctant to join in online. So my second tip is to ask parents to send videos. Asking parents to send videos is extremely useful for assessment. We can use these clips to evaluate pronunciation and fluency. These videos can be show and tell. If you're working on clothes, a child could be asked to describe what he or she is wearing. They could describe their home, their toys, their pet, or even the contents of their pencil case. Thirdly, to assess children's written work, we can ask parents to send photos of completed tasks. Explain the task online and ask children to complete it later. These tasks can range from exercises in their activity books to short texts based on text types they have read. We've been working on postcards in class. Children will each choose a place to draw and then follow a series of simple steps to write their postcard. Photos of the finished product will be used for assessment. We can assess our pupils' listening skills by playing them short listening activities. After completing the activity, ask parents to send a photo to check answers. If you want to assess spelling, for example, if you're working with phonics, you may want to check children's ability to write a particular sound. A short dictation can work well. Limit the number of words each time, maybe just 5 for this age group. But to make the activity fun, ask them to get out their felt pens and write each word in a different colour. You could ask them to write the words as big as they can or as small as they can. Again, parents can send a photo of the finished dictation. Continuous assessment is the key to evaluating young learners. Choose standards that are ongoing throughout the year. Some children are shy and find the situation very daunting. They may be reluctant to switch on their camera or even to speak English at all. Encourage them to participate in TPR activities and respond non-verbally if they feel more comfortable doing that. Remember to take into consideration the difficult circumstances everyone is facing while evaluating the children's progress. Handpick standards that can be assessed easily. For example, standards such as uses strategies such as pointing and body language to produce simple text are easier to evaluate than works cooperatively in pairs and small groups. My fifth tip is to use self-assessment. Allowing pupils to assess their own contribution to sessions encourages student involvement and responsibility. A traffic light is very visual. Children point to the green light if they feel they are confident that they perform well, the yellow light if they feel they can do the activity, and the red light if they feel they need more time to assimilate learning or they can't do the activity. Use 2 or 3 I can statements at the end of each lesson for children to assess how they feel about their own learning. My Year 1 group has been learning about clothes, so some suitable statements could be, I can say different clothes, or I can say what I'm wearing. Use self-assessment for children to evaluate their own participation in sessions. For example, I understand the story, I can sing the song, etc. Take screenshots when children hold up their traffic lights so that you have a more permanent reference that you can look at once the class has finished. These are my top 5 tips for assessing language in our online sessions. But there are other ways of assessing children remotely. I'd love to hear your ideas. I hope you found today's and the previous videos useful for your online sessions.